If you're talking about it, we're talking about it. Today's News Talk Radio, TNT.
Welcome back to the Pelle Taylor Show. Well, our next guest is an Estonian expert. Now, I used to live in Estonia in the early 1990s, where you could buy a kilo of meat for a kilo of rubles, as they say. That's before they transitioned to their new economy. Very high crime rates, chaos all around. You could buy a prostitute for a packet of cigarettes, that sort of thing. Not that I ever did it. But anyway, the country's now prosperous and has presented itself as e-Estonia, a high-tech East European country that's gone far ahead in the world thanks to its EU and NATO membership. But there is a dark side, and Mike is going to tell us about that. He's the founder and CEO of Calamusega Enterprises, a company based in the US. He served as the president of the American branch of the Estonian Conservatives, and he's currently a board member of the NGO Conservative Estonia. Welcome to the show, Mike.
Thank you. But I'm not in that party anymore, so I left. I'm too independent to be in any party and too conservative for that. So okay. I don't like to play games. So, and of course, our NGO Conservative Estonia, we are fighting for Estonian average people and making sure that conservative values will be, for future also. But right now, yeah.
Yeah. Well, how do you feel about the situation in Estonia right now from your conservative perspective? Is the politics going in a good way?
No, it's never been good way. It's all scam. So whatever you see on internet, what they're saying, this is PR. This is actually nothing happened. You can check online what kind of internet speeds are in Estonia. It's like something like 67th of position. So this is not e-country. So there is many things what we have to talk about what went wrong in Estonia. But the main thing was, if you heard about Kaja Kallas, you have to know that her father was like high-ranking elite communist in Estonia for a long time. So around 1975, he was already high-ranking politician. He was propagandist, communist, ruthless, like nothing nice about him. And if Kaja Kallas says that, I remember hard times in Soviet Estonia, this is, how I say nicely, BS. Because that kind of people, they had their own hospitals, their own shops. They didn't even see average working people. This is like if you read it, book 1984, George Orwell. So basically, that's what it was. So she grew up very, very nice lifestyle. Her dad was, of course, so 1988, George Soros came to Estonia. Like it was already, in that time, it was still communist country. So why he came there? So he was meeting many communist leaders. Of course, Siim Kallas, Edgar Savisaar, and others. And after that, they made a national movement. It was called Rahvarinne. So from that Rahvarinne, when Estonia got its independence, all those communists, they were connected to that Rahvarinne. And all of those elite communists, they made their own party. So you felt that you have choice, but actually, there is no choice. It was all communist elite. So that's where everything went wrong. So all the parties in Estonia are all connected to elite communists. So
I'll just say, interrupt here. Sorry. Mm-hmm. So Kaja Kallas is the next EU foreign minister.
Yeah.
She's a very Russophobic stance. Estonia is a small country of 1.3 million people, an EU member. Up in the north of Europe, and her father Siim Kallas, who I know, whose name I know, was a very, very prominent communist, and they had a golden existence compared to the. So she's talking about the suffering she had, and she's presenting herself as an anti-communist or anti-Russian or whatever. But she was part of this gravy train in the communist era, right? And now what you're saying is basically, they all joined a communist sort of secret party, if you like, and this network has ruled Estonia ever since. Is that right?
Of course, yeah. That there hasn't been any freedom. So this is all illusion that we're having. So after that, when we got our independence, Siim Kallas got position as like head of Estonian Bank. And what happened was $10 million was stolen. Nobody knows. The only thing what you can point is Siim Kallas. And after he got that money, he started his party, Reform Party. Of course, 2004, that Reform Party was major player, like promoting EU and joining EU. And of course, 2004, when we got our membership, Siim Kallas went straight work for EU Commission. So, golden spoon. So, 2005, Estonia, if you know that kind of country like Venezuela and Hugo Chavez, so they created the internet voting system. And Kaja Kallas brought it, Siim Kallas brought it to Estonia. And ever since, from 2005, they never ever lost any elections. They're always winning. So you can imagine how.
Mike, we'll continue after the break. You've just given me a sensational jigsaw piece, which I'll explain after the break. We're just going into a news break. This is the Pele Neroth Taylor Show on TNT News Talk. Stick around because Mike is onto something incredibly important for those who believe that Trump had his election stolen back in 2020. Back after the break.
Radio.live.
Welcome back to the Pele Neroth Taylor Show on this Friday afternoon. We've got Mike Calamusega, who's an Estonian entrepreneur and politician, or a dissident politician who's very much opposed to the current regime there. And Estonia, of course, has this beautiful reputation of being the perfect democracy in contrast to the wicked Russians. But it's all a bit of a bluff. It's very important now because Kaja Kallas, the Prime Minister of Estonia, is being promoted to the post of EU foreign minister, which is quite a powerful position. And we're very glad to have you exposing these scandals. Now, what you were just saying before that break, Mike, was Siim Kallas is her father. He's involved. $10 million disappeared when he was head of the National Bank of Estonia. He was a former communist, and he had part of these communist networks. They all took over Brussels when they came to Brussels late, and they all gave each other jobs, and probably the daughter benefited a little bit from that. And of course, a lot of people think the EU is basically communist anyway. So they're going from one empire, the Soviet Empire, to being top dogs in another empire, the EU empire. So that all makes sense. Now, the sensational thing you just said was that they bought this computer election system from Venezuela to Estonia. And since then, the party of which Kaja Kallas is part has never lost an election. Now, I remember when I was following the election steal in 2020 in Trump and in America, the same system came up. It was the Dominion system. It came originally from Venezuela. And I don't know the details. I've got some very clever people I could talk to who can tell me more about that. But I know that the Estonians and their friends in MI6 and the Swedish intelligence, they had a lot to do with the whole Russiagate scandal, which destroyed Trump's presidency. They were feeding stuff into MI6, and MI6 sent it to CIA and so on. And maybe they even sent this election system to America so that Trump would lose the election, because Trump wants out of NATO, and the Estonians are terrified of that. Anyway, can you pick up the story there a little bit?
Basically, it's a little bit different. It's Smartmatic, but it's a similar company like Dominion, and Smartmatic is also in US. But in US, those are not internet voting systems. They are actually, those are machines that are counting the votes, the paper ballots. So it's a little bit different. But of course, there was so much scam. And of course, and partly it's owned by George Soros. So there is nothing new, of course. And in Estonia, we have internet voting. So if you let me, I will explain a little bit how it works. Yeah. So basically, you have ID card. Basically, the ID card is exactly the same what your bank card is. Exactly. And you have PIN code. Now, it's you have to download some weird program. Most of computers, they don't recognize. They think it's some kind of spyware. But you're going to connect it to your computer. You have PIN code, and you can give your digital signature, or you can vote. So the funny part is, all that system doesn't belong to Estonian government. It belongs to Swedish companies. Swedish companies, SEB Bank, Swedbank, and Telia. They are doing that verification that this PIN is correct and this card is correct. But there is no visual or anything else like verification. And that's it. So your vote goes to first server because it has to be, by Estonian law, it has to be secretive. So it creates like for every vote code, what goes to the second server. And there is no way to check what happens there. It's like a magic. So at one point, votes are coming up, and they say, this is it. Who was voting? What happened? Nobody knows, and there is no way to verify. And you have to believe. If you don't believe or say something like I say, so Estonian media, what is all liberal, they're going to destroy you. And like last elections, last year, 2023, so I was also part of that voting rally. I was a candidate in a very small district where nobody knows me, but I just wanted to see how everything works. So in that district, Estonian Conservative Party got similar amount votes like Estonian Reform Party, Kaja Kallasest party. Those paper ballots was exactly same. They're like a little bit difference, but not much. Same age, same age groups, everything. But if you look now, internet votes, they got 10 times more than Conservative Party. So who's going to believe it? Do you going to believe it? Anybody who knows a little bit about statistics, this is not the way. There can be 3-4%, but not 10 times difference. So this is all what happened.
Can I just interrupt? Sorry.
Yeah.
Just to clarify. So people can either vote via paper ballots or internet ballots. On the paper ballots, you had about the same because you can judge by looking at that. And so you say, oh, well, we'll get maybe about the same on internet ballots. But internet ballots, which you can't check, as you just explained, Kaja Kallas, this EU foreign minister, a pillar of rectitude, a beautiful woman, a fierce woman, her party won all the internet ballots, which we can't check, basically.
Basically, that's what happened. That's how. If there was only paper ballots, Estonian Conservative Party would be on power right now. We would get majority.
Right. So this woman is going to spend the next 5 years lecturing everyone else in the world. The woman who represents Europe, and she's certainly got a beautiful face. She is incredibly corrupt herself. I mean, what you've got there is a scandal of global proportions, basically.
Yeah. And also, I can tell you what happened last year. So it came up that because Estonia has sanctions for Russia, so there is basically nobody can do business in Russia. But Kaja Kallas gave special permission to his husband. And also Kaja Kallas invested 390,000 euros to that company who got privilege to do business in Russia. And of course, they made lots of money. And when it came up, then she says, I didn't know what my husband was doing, but, it's all okay for her. So on TV, she says that, we hate Russia. Yeah, we don't want to do anything. We don't like Putin. We want to bomb St. Petersburg. And at the same time, she's doing business with Russia and makes like millions and millions of dollars. So you totally can see, this is totally corrupt. And same time, they say, Viktor Orban, friend of Putin. But I was asking Orban's like advisors, why it's like this, and they say that we do that business openly, but your Kaja Kallas is doing that secretly and for herself, and she makes all the money. She gets rich. So you can see what kind of person she is, and she's gonna be running EU foreign policies soon.
Quite incredible. Well, I guess don't travel in any open top vehicles in the future. No. So are you? I was born in Soviet Union, and I've seen lots of stuff, and I'm not scared. If I was scared,
I wouldn't do that. So I'm political activist. I'm not politician. I'm not getting paid for that. I'm doing that for free for my country. So this is.
And Mike, are you based in the US right now?
Yes, Washington DC.
So, but because I guess in Estonia, I mean, the Estonian press are all quiet. I mean, is there people talking about this? Are they afraid of the Estonian secret police or Estonian?
Of course, yeah.
Right.
Of course, because the last 20 years, because Reform Party has been winning, they put their own people everywhere, courts, secret police, everywhere. So if you live in Estonia and say something like this, probably you're going to go to prison, or at least you're going to lose your job right away. So there is no freedom at all. And all the media in Estonia is owned by liberal companies. So even Estonia, like national TV, what is for taxpayer money, if you watch it, this is like incredible stuff there. It's all LGBT, trans, everything what is wrong in the world.
Yeah. Mike, I'm afraid we're going to wind up there. So this poster boy of East Europeans who've joined the EU club, and they're so democratic, they're so free, they've got secret police, they've got corruption, they've got people going to jail, and they've got this endless propaganda about LGBT. They've got a politician who cheats, who lies, who steals elections. Well, poster boy or not, doesn't sound like it to me. And of course, she's going to head the European foreign policy, and we know the secrets about her, and that Europe's going to be a laughing stock for the rest of the world. Anyway, Mike Calamusega, thank you so much. We'd love to have you on again. I have a special interest in Estonia, and what you've said is a fantastic story, and we want to get it out there as much as possible. Thank you very much. This is a Pele Neroth Tele Show on Friday afternoon, and we'll be back with our next guest after the break.